to this edition of FPD Roll Call. Today's show, I have a special guest, John Higgins, and we're going to talk about the Summons of Joy program that the Florissant Police Department collaborated with John Knox Church. And then after speaking with John Higgins, I'm going to go over the crime stats for January. So first I want to welcome John Higgins to the show. Thanks for coming on.
Thank you, Steve.
So I guess we want to get the word out and tell the people about the Summons of Joy program, and really, can you kind of give them an idea of what Summons of Joy is?
What this basically is a number of churches in Florissant cooperating together to raise money in the fall that is then converted into gift cards, which we then give to the Florissant Police so that in your professional travels, you can identify folks that seem to be in need and then be able to, instead of giving them a regular summons, give them a Summons of Joy, which includes a $100 gift card that they can use in any way that helps their family for the holidays.
Yeah, so some people might be thinking, well, how do we determine who's in need? And you know, as an officer that was able to give out a lot of these gift cards, you know, during our travels throughout the day, we would, whether it was an expired plate or you know, a minor traffic violation, typically the expired license plates, and this is just my account, that what I looked forward to when I see an expired license plate, typically, you know, that person may be having a hard time getting the proper paperwork documented for their vehicle because of money issues. That was my thought. Now I can't speak for a lot of the other officers that handed this out, but for some of them at home that are watching, that's kind of how we determined it. So there was an infraction, or you know, we went to some other areas that maybe people might frequent more. I know we drove by the food pantry, and you know, that's unfortunately an always crowded place, and we could find some people that may have needed it. But how can you tell us a little bit how the idea came to you?
Yeah, I became aware back in end of 2014 that there was at least one other community that was doing something like this through someone who happened to be independently wealthy in that community and was handing out $100 bills to the police to distribute in this similar fashion. I was not aware, and I'm not aware of anybody in that position here, but being part of North County Churches Uniting for Racial Harmony and Justice, we have a group of churches in North County that cooperate on a number of levels and a number of projects. And it seemed to me that this was a good way to go about the process of raising money for this project, to talk to churches and see if they would help us, and then be able to then, as I say, convert that into gift cards for the police to use.
Yeah, and then I know you're raised almost, I think it was $9,800, almost. It was a lot of money that was raised.
Yeah, this last year we've done this now for 3 years. The first year we had no idea how much we would raise. We raised $4,500, and we set a goal for the second year of $6,000. We raised $6,200. This past fall, we had a goal of $7,500, and we actually raised $8,600. And then through some discounts we were able to get through Target, we actually wound up with 98 cards plus one that was brought in to the police, as you remember, that floored all of us who wanted to contribute.
Yeah, so I thought that was really cool. And just a tidbit on that is just a citizen came in and said, I want to give you $100 to what was a gift card from Target. They went and purchased their own Target gift card, and they wanted it included into yours. It may not have been a parishioner or someone affiliated with a church. It was just someone wanting to contribute. And I think overall, that was an awesome gesture, and it kind of goes along with the program of giving. You know, whether it's not just churches, but other people jumped on and really showed that they would like to be part of the program. Mm-hmm. So, you know, maybe that's an avenue that can be expanded.
Yeah, we've been very fortunate that local news, Channel 4, Channel 5 has covered this over the last couple of years, and I think that has helped get the word out to people about what this really is. And I think the more that people get an awareness of what this is really all about, the more excited they get. And I think that's the reason why we've seen an increase in the giving over the past couple of years.
Yeah, well, I know the chief was quoted by saying that that this program really does show the generosity of our tight community.
Yeah.
So that's a really I mean, he really hit the nail on the head with that. I mean, it is the generosity of the community that is able to make this happen. And like you said, this was our 3rd year in a row, and 98 gift cards, and I think we did it in a little less than a month. So that was a lot of traffic stops, and that was, I know personally, I took part in a minimum of 20. So for me to hand out, I'll equate that to dollars of $2,000 was the feeling for me to do that was probably just as good as the person on the other side receiving it. And to quote what you had said is, to some people, $100 could be like somebody else receiving a larger gift. It just depends on the situation that they're in. Whether equating $100 to $1,000, it's the people in need are just that. And then so many people that I encountered. We're just so grateful. I received hugs, high fives, handshakes, and you actually came out and did a ride-along with me. So can you maybe tell the audience what your aspect was of that?
Yeah, I didn't really know what to expect. I was very hopeful that this would be received well on both sides, and I think the first couple of times there was a little bit of hesitation about, are we doing this right, or is this the way we should be doing it? But what was so powerful to me has been the response of people who are the recipients of this. That just as we were talking earlier, the intensity of gratitude and the intensity of joy, which is the purpose of it, was so great that, as you said before, I think one of the outcomes of it has been that people have been able to see a police officer as more than just a uniform, but really as a fellow human being, and having that interaction means the world.
Yeah, and which was really cool is when I was handing out these gift cards, is I did come across people that wanted no part of me. They were upset because they thought they were getting a ticket. So if I could walk the audience through a stop, I would light the lights and sirens and expect them to pull over, which they did. And just walking up to the car, they are going through so many emotions. If they are already, in need, so to speak, if they could use that extra $100 a little bit more than the next person, and I go up there, their emotion is going from, after I tell them, well, I'm going to cut you a break on whatever it is, and I'm going to give you this, $100 Target gift card. They go from thinking that they're getting a ticket, or unfortunately a negative interaction with the policeman, to now them getting out of the car, giving me a hug, saying how much that this $100 gift card is going to help make their children's Christmas that much better. I encountered people that said, I wasn't going to have a Christmas for my kids, and this $100 is going to help. I encountered people who said, that I'm going to give this to somebody else that might need it a little bit more. And there was people that just broke down and cried in front of me that said, this is going to keep the electric on in my house, my kid will wake up and see the Christmas tree lights on. So, I mean, there's all kinds of different aspects that you can look at how this money helps. It don't just help buy a present. It does help alleviate a little stress with the utility bill, maybe, that they can go and afford something else. So what are you thinking that maybe your goal is this next coming December?
Well, we of course hope that we'll be able to raise even more for this. So far, over the past 3 years, we have directly impacted 200 families because of this in Florissant. And that doesn't even count all the stories that have been told from family member to family member and neighbor to neighbor about this. So we hope that it will only continue to grow, and with it, more and more of an idea that what this is about, as good as it is for us to be able to help out people with a little bit extra in the holidays, especially those who are in need. The other thing that is such an important part of it to us is to be able, in this case, to bring police and community members together in a positive way that helps build relationships and build trust in the community, because we see that as as a complete win-win-win. It's a win for the churches because we can see that what we're giving to has concrete benefits. It's a benefit to those who are receiving it because it means, as you say, the difference for them sometimes between Christmas and not. And maybe you could say another word too, because about the effect it has on police officers, because I don't think most of us in the churches even anticipated how important and how substantial that effect has been for all of you.
Yeah, well, that is a huge aspect of it as well. I touched on my own experience, and after some of the officers have handed out the gift cards, you know, I gave them a quick interview. Just, hey, what'd you think? You know, what should we do different, or is there anything we should do different? And overall, what did you think of the program? And you know, to quote some of the guys, they said, I'm elated to be a part of this. This is a great program to, you know, put a person behind the badge. Others were saying that they really enjoyed it, and they think that this is just an extra step for the Florissant Police Department, you know, kind of going above and beyond to really bring the community closer with a positive impact with its police officers. So, you know, and then just going back, I guess that we had probably 20, 25 different officers, maybe more, that made a positive impact with people that they stopped. So to really see the whole department get involved with each, whether one officer did one or whether one officer did 15 to 20, it doesn't matter. It still changed the way, the perspective that an officer might have been perceived. And I can tell you, I seen, you know, we videoed all these, and I can tell you, I looked back at some of them, and I could see where some of the officers had to pause because they might have gotten a little, you know, choked up, including myself. There was one occasion that I get goosebumps thinking about it now, but you know, you just kind of pause and you kind of enjoy the moment with them. It's something that I'm able to give, even though I didn't raise the $100. I'm being part of this program. I was given $100 gift card. I was entrusted with that to spread the joy. So that feeling I get, it's like just giving out presents. And it almost felt like I wasn't deserving enough to do that because it's not my money, but I get the program and I appreciate the program. So from the Florissant Police Department, we appreciate the program, and we do continue to look forward to doing it continuously. But I do, one last question I have for you is, what do you feel that the ultimate goal is of the Summons of Joy program? No matter if it goes another 5 years and it goes another year, what is the ultimate goal?
Well, it's I think building trust community-wide, building a sense of community, building a sense that we're in this together, we need to help each other. That particularly with some of the issues we've seen between police in various communities and interactions with community members, to be able to remind people that there is a person behind the badge, as you say, all the time, and that the police are doing whatever they can do to help lift up the community through their role, and that we're all in this together. I think the more that we can work at that together, the more we're going to continue to see this community become more enriched and flourish.
Yeah, well, if history dictates, it looks like we're going to need a little bit more time. If we get more money for next year, maybe a little bit more time to be able to give these gifts out. Yeah.
I mean, that was a nice problem to have this year, was are we going to get them all distributed by Christmas? Because as you were describing earlier, this isn't just random, and with the idea of just getting rid of these cards, it's more focused than that, and so we want to have enough time to do it. So, you know, we're hoping to be as effective as we can be on that in terms of scheduling, and we also hope that, as is the case with at least Alton now, that other communities will pick up on this model, and in whatever way they can do it, find a way that they can do something similar within their communities, because we have found that this is a real win-win-win between police, community members, and in this case churches. So often what we see in the news are win-lose situations.
Yeah.
Somebody wins, somebody loses. In this case, we can all celebrate that we're all winning in this, and that's something we really want to pursue.
Well, it's nice to be a trendsetter on such a glorious type of gift. It's, you know, this program is unique, and it's great that, you know, it's right here in Florissant, that started right here in Florissant with the churches, the community itself, and it's moving over to Alton, and hopefully, like you said, it will spread, because this is a really great program. And you know, on behalf of the men and women of the Florissant Police Department and Chief Tim Lowry, I say thank you for starting this program and letting us be part of it, because, you know, not only are you helping people, but you're truly helping the police officers, you know, become, you know, less of a negative figure. And I use that term loosely, because not all contacts are negative, but just you're really shedding the light on the person. It's a person-to-person interaction. You know, the job kind of is, it's not being so, unfortunately there is negative contacts that come along with being a police officer, but this is a positive interaction, and we appreciate it, and we love that we're able to be a part of it. So with that, I want to thank you for coming on the show, and we'll be right back after a quick break, and I'll talk about the January crime stats.
Protect your family. Go to mo.gov/cyber. Your information lives online as much as you do.
Welcome back to the show. I'm going to go over the January 2018 crime report. There were 4 robberies in the month of January. On January 2nd, first block of Patterson Plaza. January 6th, 8400 block of US 67. January 15th, the 8200 block of US 67. January 21st, the first block of Grandview Plaza. There were 10 burglaries during the month of January. January 2nd, 100 block of Lynn Meadows. January 5th, 3200 block of Cross Keys. January 5th, the 2500 block of Pontchartrain. January 7th, 2700 block of North Ridge. January 16th, 1100 block of Central Parkway. January 21st, 1000 block of Central Parkway. January 23rd, 2200 block of Keevan. January 28th, the 2700 block of Narragansett. January 26th, the 1900 block of Durhakey. There were 20 motor vehicle thefts during the month of January. January 1st, the 8100 block of US 67. January 1st, 700 block of Lexington. January 2nd, 1200 block of Shackelford. January 4th, the 1100 block of St. Bernadette. January 4th, 100 block of Capri. January 6th, the 2500 block of Clovermere. January 8th, 1800 block of Pyrenees. January 11th, 800 block of Manresa. January 13th, the 700 block of Malamphy. January 14th, the 800 block of Campion. January 14th, the 1700 block of North New Florissant Road. January 15th, 1100 block of Durhakey. January 15th, the 1600 block of Fenmore. January 15th, the 1900 block of Montfort. January 16th, the first block of Sharon. January 17th, the 200 block of De Smet. January 20th, the 800 block of De Smet. January 21st, first block of St. Ronald. January 23rd, 3200 block of Cross Keys. January 30th, 3300 block of Cross Keys. We had a total of 52 stealings during the month of January, and there were 9 property damages during the month of January also. Also, I want to touch on Neighborhood Watch. We're still accepting applications for our Neighborhood Watch program. Online registration, you can visit our website. And upon registration to your Neighborhood Watch program, you'll start receiving crime reports, neighborhood crime reports from me. I'll send them out directly to your email that you use to sign up. That's another good way to get connected with your neighbors. Our Neighborhood Watch program is growing very fast. It's really taken off, and we have a lot of good information to pass along. We have good meetings filled with a lot of useful information. So I really encourage you guys to look into signing up for our Neighborhood Watch program. I also want to encourage anybody to go on if there's social media. If, we have a Facebook page. Go on and like our Facebook page. We have a lot of events that we post on there. We have a Coffee with a Cop that's coming up soon. So we'll be posting stuff on there. We post things, people that are getting arrested, or that have been arrested for some of these crime reports that you've just heard about. We put pictures up there. We let the residents know that there are arrests being made. So any events, any special events, stuff like that, we post through our social media. We're on Facebook, on Twitter, on the Nextdoor app, Instagram. I put up some pretty neat pictures of what's happening around the station and what some of the officers are finding on the street. I also want to encourage people to go on and like Eddie the Florissant dog. Go on and like his Facebook page. A lot of cool stuff that happens through our social media that you can find out, not just through this show here, but there's also other things happening that we're posting on our social media. So also, I want to mention that if you guys see anything suspicious, no matter what it is, please call. Let us determine if there's a crime or something going on that needs to be investigated a little bit further. I can't stress enough, going back to our Neighborhood Watch, we get calls all the time from our Neighborhood Watch members that report something suspicious, and it turns out that the people or the person or whatever they called in was a good hunch, and an arrest might have been made, or they might have deterred a crime. So just there's nothing too small, nothing too big. Let us go and check it out. Give us a reason to stop that person, stop that car, and if it seems out of place, it probably is out of place, or it seems just shoot us a call if you think you see something suspicious or just ain't right. And just always, if there's an emergency, dial 911. Or if you need to get a hold of just someone at the police department, 831-7000. But if it's an emergency, dial 911. I want to thank everybody for watching the show, and we'll see you next time.